Live. Yes, once again, on a wonderful Thursday evening. It is now 10 o'clock p.m. in the evening, 10 o'clock in the evening here in Germany. I figured I would try to do the stream a little bit later because some of you guys have not been able to make it on my way home drive live streams lately. And it is Thursday. I kind of keep forgetting that. So I go home. It's like, today I'm going to do a video. And then it's always usually Thursday. And I'm like, it's time to do a live stream. So here we are, live streaming across several platforms: YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and yeah, I think that's it. So here we are. Let's say we got 2 people in the chat already. Let's see if it is. Welcome 3 people in here watching now. I'm gonna put my axe away before I hurt myself. Yes. I'm collecting up quite a bunch of junk here on my windowsill here. Hello, KP Heathen, welcome. And Curtis, welcome. Yeah, I have a really nice piece of red jasper here. I mined, literally, I call it mined because I'm using an excavator, and I, on hands and knees, crawled around in the dirt looking for these type of rocks because they have sentimental value to me for several reasons. Yeah, when I was a kid, we used to find these and not know what they were. And I used to bash on like with a hammer, and pieces of them used to come up and hit me in the eye. But these were super mysteriously cool rocks because sometimes they'd have little pockets of crystals in them. And at one time I had a soccer ball size piece of this when I was a boy, but I don't know what happened to that. But fortunately now here at the Viking camp, I have plenty of that. I have like a big one of those pickle buckets you get from Burger King, those big green ones. I have a whole big old pail of those. And what's really cool about this is actually historically correct for using in flint and steel. The Vikings actually had an abundance of jasper to use with their flint strikers, and they actually found those in Viking artifacts. So they found fire starting equipment with jasper instead of flint, which was more. I would have figured, more of abundant in the first place. And flint was a commodity during that time, as it wasn't available all across Scandinavia. So who do we have here? Let's see. Matthias Treeman, welcome. I haven't seen you in a very long time. I think we had a chat this afternoon on a Skype for a minute there, but it's good to see you online. I'm really happy to see you. Mart Bish from Plymouth, UK, welcome. Luke and Mum, welcome. Stone Wolf Outdoors, Bob Head, and Glenn Jacobson. Skull. Yes, today is Björn's birthday, by the way, for those of you who didn't catch that. I was going to make something really cool, but I just didn't get around to it. And I really wanted to make the really cool object be the first object on my new really cool anvil over there, in case you guys haven't saw that yet. Luke and Mum, the best place to look is if you have red sandstone anywhere, and it's best if it contains a lot of iron, which you can tell if the red sandstone, if you crack a piece of it open and it has black sand inside of it, you have a good chance of finding some red jasper. The jasper is a silica based quartz rock that has a lot of iron, dissolved iron particles in it when the rock was forming under a lot of pressure, and that's what made this. So you often find jasper when you excavate out of between 2 big old sandstones. That's how I've been finding these. There's just veins of it, and I've learned how to look for it, and that's how I've been very successful. Once in a while, I find some laying out here because I'm doing excavating. I can't catch every piece. When it rains over the whole place, I'll look over and I'll just spot it. You could just really spot it looking at the ground, which is so exciting. Yes. So I really wanted to make Björn a really cool little something, and I want it to be something on my really cool anvil there. So I'll probably get around to it tomorrow-ish, because today was also my buddy Sven's birthday. He's at a concert today, so he won't be attending the live stream today, but he's usually in the background. Hello, Woodlander. Welcome. You said you still had the piece of flint that I sent you. Yeah, you need to practice your flint and steel. Your flint and steel fire making kits there, Matthias Triman. That's a really cool skill, and I'm glad you still have it. I'm glad you enjoyed that. It's a really cool little Viking age. Actually, they did use flint and steel up until the beginning of the 19th century to start the fireplace in the house and light candles and light whatever. So that's really interesting. I think that's kind of cool. S. Dellinger, welcome. Yes, I got some of the usual suspects here that can't make it during the regular time that I usually do my live streams on my way to and from work. Those are very very convenient for me, and they're really I really enjoy those a lot. So I'm doing this one a little bit later tonight to see if I can catch the people who can't quite make the live streams that are on my schedule, usual schedule. So yes, happy Torsdag, everybody. Bob Head there mentioned that's a skull. I'm glad it makes me very happy that you enjoy it, Matthias. That's it was for me. And I have your carving of Odin right over here. Has an honorary spot now, since I can lock it in the cabin, more or less. It's locked in. Yeah, it's actually locked in here. I'm not too afraid of people stealing anything, but if someone wants to steal, they'll steal. They'll bring a chainsaw, they'll cut a hole in the wall, or they'll bring a screwdriver or whatever. They'll pry something out, break some of the boards. You know how people are. But I'm pretty confident that the dog will take care of that. So I have your plaque over there, and I saw a guy on the eBay classifieds that had another very similar, really nice looking Odin plaque, and so I got that too. So they're over there, and it's decorating my corner where my bed is. So that's awesome. Something else I would like to show you guys, since you're the select special people here. I have a piece of chaga. This is actually my piece of chaga I use to make tea. I've harvested this myself, and I know it's from a safe location. You want to watch with mushrooms that grow in the wild where you harvest them. Sometimes they'll be radioactive, and a lot of people don't know that. Here in Germany, at least, because of the fallout from Chernobyl, got in the ground, and there's mushrooms, they absorb a lot of it. And as being a hunter, you learn a lot about that, because if the large wild boars, they're very radioactive, and certain levels of radioactivity, you have to throw the pig away. So it's really something you learn. So they also, mushrooms, be careful what kind of mushrooms you eat, because these aren't mushrooms that just grow and disappear. These mushrooms grow over 10 years. The fungus grows on the tree, and it's very healthy. It has a very great aspect of benefits to your well-being. I'm going to be careful how I word the description of what I have here. Call me medical misinformation. That would be crazy. But it's also a great fire starter. But this particular piece here is actually my piece for making tea. And now I don't know why it's just laying out here in the Viking cabin here, but at the blacksmith shop. I guess maybe Vanessa took it out of the... I think my little tea can is up here too somewhere. I don't know. Yeah, but that's actually what I was going to show you here. Something really cool. This is what you call a lebahai. And there's a fossil inside. I don't know what it is. If anybody out there can identify what kind of fossil this is, because we found several of these with these type of fossils inside of them. Good evening, Kevin. Yeah, so this is a really cool find. Vanessa actually polished this one, so I have to really be careful with this one. She sat here and polished it, and it's I'm very careful not to destroy this one, so I'm going to put it back down. But Lebahaya is what the Saarland used to. It's actually an iron ore. It's a lime-based iron ore. And inside the iron, where the iron ore is, where the iron deposits are, It's a T-Rex, one Coco 64. I wish that'd be so cool. Or at least a tooth or something, right? And so the iron core there often contains fossils. So in the Saarland, about the last, I'd say between 80 years, that's what they were digging up out of the ground. And the iron content in this ore is around 20% if you get good quality. And so they stopped mining this in the late 60s, 70s, I believe, 80s maybe, because they found more convenient iron ore reserves somewhere else that were much better quality, up to 70%. And so they built the entire industry up around mining that iron ore around that location where it was at. So it kind of moved away from those spots and locations where this was mined, but they're still plentiful. If you know the spots, Vanessa and I went out and did some scouting last week. And on word of mouth, some like on hearsay, we were following some directions given to us by a friend of ours, and it was actually accurate. We usually use someone says go check out that place in there, and it's usually a bummer because it's either you didn't get the right perspective on it, or it's just not the correct information. But this was dead on. So it was a great surprise. I brought home. It was really cool too. You could park right at where this was, and so I was able to go get Pooh Bear, and we all had a blast. And if you guys want to check out the video on that, I believe my last video from about a week ago, Leba Ha'aya, there's a video there. It's in English, of course, on this channel, and it's kind of about my little adventure there. It's pretty cool. You guys get to take part in that adventure that we were on. Got 2 backpacks, 2 Alice packs full of those, and 2 Alice packs full of Leba Ha'aya in different qualities. And of course, Vanessa goes around the corner, climbs on the branches of the tree. If she falls in the lake, she falls in the lake. It comes back with this picture perfect Leba Ha'aya. It's like, it weighs like 5 kilograms and it's in perfect condition. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. When it goes to fossil hunting, I suck at that. I just totally sit there and I'm looking at the ground. And I find fossils once in a while, but that's luck. And Vanessa goes, look here, there, and this one, and that, and there. And she walks around the corner and comes back with this beautiful picture perfect Leba Ha'aya, like out of a picture book. And I'm like, look at you. Where'd you get that? I was just laying right across over there. And it was really hard to get to. She kind of monkey climbed on the roots of the trees that were hanging out. I thought she was going to fall in the water. But I'm glad she didn't, because that would have been the very terrible thing. Olivine. Oh, wow. That's a nice stone. I used to, one of my previous things that when I was growing up, I wanted to be was a lapidary. I wanted to make jewelry. I don't know what the right word for that is. A lapidariist, jeweler, I guess you could say. And yeah, I had a really avid jewelry collection for a 12-year-old kid. I was making some really cool things, and that's how I was making my lunch money. Selling all that crazy stuff that I was making. But it was a excellent learning experience, I must say, that kind of contributed to my knowledge and skills and interests today. Yeah. Skull. Yes, I have tomorrow off. Unfortunately, not for a good reason. Your main stone is granite. Okay. Well, that's a good stone. If you're going to look for jasper, you want to look for red sand. That's just your best bet. Like in my first tip. Yeah, that's what I was going to become. And then I decided I didn't want to do that anymore because for some reason, I don't remember why, but yeah. Yeah, I have to go to a funeral tomorrow. One of my good friends, his wife died last week, surprisingly. So it wasn't like, something we was expecting to happen. And she was a really nice lady. And her daughters and her son, they went to school with me in high school. So I know this family for a long time. Yeah, so that's terrible. That's life, I guess. It's we'll go deal with that, and then we'll see how the rest of the day goes. Bobhead says, where you live is all sandstone. Well, there you go. You get to go look for some jasper, I guess. What you look is where there's the sandy part, like where the sand is, and then where the sandstones sit together in the sand, that in between there. That's where I find a lot of this jasper. That's from my experience. Stone wolf outdoor quartz. Yes, that's also a rock that sparks fairly well if you get a good piece of quartz. And not just there's a very wide range of rocks that you can actually use for flint or for fire starting, for making sparks with a flint striker, with a steel striker. There's a wide range of different rocks. I did a couple of brief videos, but I really need to do a prepared video where I have all the specimens out on the table, and I can explain the hardness of each. I'll do a hardness test, explain what happens when you strike the rocks. I think I want to do a video like that. There's an entire beach in Maine just purely wave tumble jasper. Yeah, but if that's the thing, to make it spark very well, you have to break the edge somewhere at least. This is raw from the dirt. And you know what's really cool? What you said now, that wave, in between there's layers where there's beach pebbles. This is so cool. This is 200 million years ago. There was wide river water washing through here where I'm sitting right now. It's just so unimaginable. It's really so unimaginable. So when I'm in there with a rake, raking out the different layers. There's the sandstone, and then I'll rake out some loose sand, and all these little beach pebbles will fall out, round rolled little quartz and everything. It's so fascinating to see that. And I know it's going to be about 200 million years ago, just judging by the layers of the sandstone of how deep that is in the ground right now. I'm about 2 meters down, so. Ah, okay. That's a cool crater. You get fossils in there. Yeah, Luke and Mom, that's correct. It's also really fun. Like I said, quartz works fairly well. You get a good piece. Flint, of course. Jasper. Anything that has a hardness of 6 upwards, usually. But what's also very important is that you have a sharp edge that you're using with your flint steel. The edge you're using to strike has to be extremely sharp. If you've used it a couple of times, it won't spark as well as if you've just broken that rock and there's a nice razor sharp edge there. That's the trick. Because what that does is the rock actually shaves microscopic little tiny pieces of steel off at such a quick moment. They ignite in the air. And the little sparks is what you get, is the steel igniting with reacting to the oxygen in the air. And that's happening. So it's pretty cool. I just enjoy it so much myself. I like making flint steel fire. And it's my favorite thing to forge, really. It's the creation of something that I can make something that can make fire. It's been something that's it's gonna be around for a long time, and the items that I make are going to be used for quite some time, and probably way past my lifetime. Someone will probably find one of my kits someday and go like, wow, look at this. This has a little symbol on it. So let's Google this. And then they'll find that my YouTube channel is still on the internet 500 years later. Yeah, who knows? Raventor, greetings from Germany. Welcome. Yes. Schönen Gruß auch aus Deutschland. Yes, and smooth stones, listen to them go back and forth with the waves. A surreal sound. Yes, Radiation Raven. That is something I want to enjoy at least one more time before the fall madness with all the lockdown bullshit goes back on. And I want to take Vanessa up to the Ostsee with Pooh Bear. Want to go one more time this year. And I'm probably going to do that sometime October, November. Slante Berserker, how's things? Oh, well, so Tenor, thank you for asking. Things are 50-50, I guess. I never say it's too good or too bad because You know, it can always be better, but I'm doing all right. I'm doing okay, hanging in there, staying busy. There's some things that are bothering me here and there, but time we'll see how that goes. Um, hmm. Ja, Raventor, yes, wir sind aus Deutschland. Skull. Nah, boogers. Yeah, I also have to. There's going to be a little Viking festival in a couple towns away from here, and I really have to prepare for that. My tent is still kaput, and I have to make a couple of table benches, and I just have no motivation and no energy for anything lately. It's really, really tough. Ja, Björn hat heute Geburtstag übrigens. Yeah, so if you guys want to, there's this video this morning from his live stream, I believe. You can make a small donation to a charity as a gift to him for, I think it's for animal shelter. Even if you donate like 50 cents or $1 or something, I'm not sure quite how it works. But I watched, I was ready to look at the stream, and then I didn't have time. I had to go to work. Funny Monkoku 64. Yeah, it's well, we'll see. 3,000 years. Well, still to another EU friction. We'll see. I'd have to take it day by day. Keep an open mind and step back and look at all the information. I understand that a lot of these things that are you seeing in the news are actually really happening. So it's I can see it in the effects of what's going on. So yeah, but you can still watch the stream, and still see what's going on. Yeah, energy. I don't know. Lately, I've how do I say this? I've been struggling a little bit lately with a couple of things. I'm not too 100% myself. Yeah, it's a bit tough. But yeah, physically and stuff like that. But I'm doing fine, and there's good days and there's not so good days. Today was a good day. Oh, welcome, Janie. Welcome to the chat. Yes, so I don't know if you guys were watching some of the YouTube shorts. I was working really hard yesterday with Vanessa on the installation of the new anvil masterpiece, heavy metal masterpiece over there with 300 kilogram anvil. Let me maybe just swing the camera over so you guys can see it. You guys see it? No, it's not the little one there on the table. It's the big one over there. Yeah, you guys take a quick peek at the anvil. Sneak peek, of course. Yeah, it's up and down every day kind of thing. It's not going to go away just overnight. It's going to take some further attention, and right now the timing isn't good to take care of that. So that's going to have to be something. Yeah, Matthias, 302 kilograms. It's a bit small for my taste, but for now it'll do. I'm actually looking for a 500 kilogram anvil in that shape. So that's like 1 in a million if I find it. And then hopingly the condition of it isn't mauled to destruction to the point where it's just a big boat anchor. So yeah, that little anvil there you guys saw on the table, I actually got a call from my the real tiny one, the little one that as you guys would see on the hold on, swing back over one more time. So that tiny little animal sitting there out on the on that table there. My the guy from the junk place called me today. And yesterday he sent me a message, and he said, "Hey, I got something for you." And he sent me a text, and I'm like, "If I want it," I was like, "Of course I want that." So I'll go get it. It's a Petting House 20 kilogram anvil. And those go for like $300. And this one's in immaculate condition. All I got to do is just buff the surface clean and I have a perfect little anvil. And I'm not planning on selling it. It's in mint condition almost. It just needs to be cleaned up and oiled. And since Vanessa and I are planning to do some Erlebnispädagogik with children, I don't know what you call that in English. When you give children tools and you teach them, you get them to let them have the experience of having done something once. Like having forged a nail, for example. So you give them their size scale tools so they get to actually, not beat up on your professional equipment for, so something like that. That's even way too nice. I get anvils like that size all the time. And that one's actually a name brand anvil, although the quality of those isn't like the best of the best. They're way overpriced. And if I clean that one up, I could easily get $300 for it. So I'm just going to clean it up and set it aside because it's kind of neat. It's a size of animal I don't have yet. And I do have different ones at home, actually. I just remembered in case. I have a 50 kilogram anvil. That's I use that for my markets. You have a handmade Mjolnir, and you're so proud as you got it. Oh, cool. That's awesome. I'm actually working on a little project. It was a wish. I think I can make it, so I have to get with it. It was actually supposed to be Björn's birthday present. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. The anvil, I wanted to install the anvil and now really set up shop before starting the forge. I wanted the first object that I make on my new anvil to be Björn's birthday present. So that's going to happen maybe tomorrow. Usually, most likely tomorrow late evening or in the early morning. And I'll try to film it, but you know how that life goes. Yeah, Janie, it's more of like a opportunity to open doors for kids' minds to wrap their excitement around something tangible rather than video games or whatever, Facebook or whatever young kids do nowadays, and to get them out into nature, to touch the trees, to pick up the leaves and all those things, and to be part of life and to appreciate the valuable experiences that we get from that. And working with your hands, that's one of the things. Hand crafts, that's just a gate opener. If you give a kid some tools and they see you work on the big anvil, it's fascinating. That's for kids like the big anvil, the blacksmith, the anvil. Whoa, we had an anvil. It was like this big, and it was sparks, and that experience sets in your mind forever, and it gives you a motivation to step in someone's footprints, to experience those wonderful moments, and to try to learn new skills and actually be successful at life by learning new skills in different array of things. Maybe finding your footing in something that some people are lost and they need an opportunity they need an open door to walk through to find something that they feel. Some people walk in that door and they feel this is it. This is something that holds them and gives them footing in life, and that's a very cool, a very valuable asset. So we're going to work on that, along with our first projects, though, is going to be beekeeping. We're going to explain all about all the bees, not just the honeybees. Honeybees is only a handful of the common species. And in Europe, we have over 550 wild bee species. And so that's a whole bunch. And explain why most of them live in certain areas of the forest in different ecosystems and different and symbiosis with other creatures, nests, and it's a lot of little bits of information that kids need to know so that they have valuable information, so they grow up to be very aware and intelligent young adults that understand what nature is really about, and not and use it as a political movement to make money, for the Green Party there. Yeah, Raventura, that's correct. A lot of children only have one parent, and they need somebody to kind of lead the way a little bit. Give them that. Hey, look here. This is a skill that you can do a lot of things with, and and glad to give them that first experience. This is how this works, and what blacksmiths do today, and what blacksmiths did hundreds of thousands of years ago, and this is how it developed. This is where iron came from, and I show them the different, the sand and the different ores, and it just really makes the mind wander, and it opens doors for so. Oh wow, your daughter is a carpenter now. That's awesome. I have to roll up and see what the. I missed it. Trying to explain that there. I missed that. Carpentry is something. It's a very valuable skill. It will always be around for at least another couple hundred years. The way that we know it today, tools just keep getting better. Old tools are always good for the fact that they don't need electricity as much. That's one reason. I have a lot of old tools, and I have incorporated a lot of old tools into my blacksmith setup here because I don't run on electricity. Now, the light you see is actually in the background there. That's actually on. I run wireless DeWalt tools, and that is a floodlight that I just love the heck out of because it's just so useful. And so I really have that light on over there, and it's enough to light up this whole building and the camera. So it's really cool. Yeah, Luke and Mum, you know what they say? They say boys will always be boys. They just get bigger toys. I've heard that, like a couple times in the last couple of days when I was looking at that anvil there. And yes, you show your son how to make wooden swords and shields. That's a cool. Yeah, that's cool. Gets them into making things with their hands and seeing it. Their fantasy goes into like 500 years ago, you'd make your sword and you'd go off with the army of the king. That's that kind of it helps them build an understanding of crafts, and it's a very good skill. It's something you can be satisfied after you've made something. You say, I made this, so it's really. Yeah, and Janie, that is correct. I don't, I am constantly at battle with myself. I say this human race is so lost. I mean, I don't have the right words. I do, but I can't really just throw a lot of inappropriate language here at the YouTube right now. But then I look at these kids, and they come in here with intelligent questions, and they ask intelligent questions because they haven't been spoiled by the political jibber jabber yet. Their mind is still at a neutral point where you can teach them anything, but they've already been touched by the multimedia monster, the multimedia brainwash machine, but they still have enough potential to where you can say, look, this, these trees and, this and that, and this is, bows and arrows and, and science and astronomy and navigation, how to survive, how to build basic shelters, how to make a fire. That's something boys and girls both need to know how to do. Somewhere have a roof over your head, how to make a small fire, how to cook your food, how to find simple materials in the forest to do all those things to help yourself. If you're, there's medicinal qualities on the trees, just the trees. If we take out all the plants, just even the trees there's so many useful things. And yeah, but see, radiation wave, you can teach your daughters valuable skills. It doesn't matter. They can learn anything, any that you do know, and it makes them independent, it makes them self-reliable, and it makes them successful when they're on their own when they have these skills. And it opens up skills. If you learn new skills, it always opens up the door for learning other skills. And it's just life. It's our journey, and that's how it goes. And if you open your mind and you take a step forward, you will soon find an interest in many things. Many things. And I have in my life found an interest in a wide range of hobbies and skills. And I found that every time I learn something new, I bump into something I haven't done before, and I'm a complete stranger to it. And so I want to absorb as much information as I possibly can cram in my head, experience everything I can in the time that I'm learning about this, and then go out and do as much of that new activity or experience as much of that new skill set that I've just learned to acquire experience. And then I can say, wow, anytime I want, I can follow back to that. I've learned a lot. I've learned this, and I learned this works well, this doesn't work. And so that's like something I see that, that's a very, I think that's how that works too for a lot of people. Yeah, kids who haven't been programmed yet. Yes, that's a very good way to look at it, I guess. Yeah, free mind and open mind, I guess, is what you want. You want an open mind, a free mind. Freedom is it's not free freedom is not free. But the concept of freedom is debatable to the point where there is no right or wrong answer. And people can say, yes, we're a free country, freedom of speech, all that good stuff. But yeah. Although we do live in a time where it's nice to be alive versus if you go back 100 years, it wasn't such a nice place anywhere in the world. And so you always have to step back and take a real critical look and criticize your own opinion. That is something a lot of people don't want to hear. Criticize your own opinion over and over and over again. And if you always, based on the facts and the information available to you that you believe is true to the best of your knowledge, come to the same conclusion, you have a good opinion. You can back that up. You can explain why this is this. I have these experiences, and this is this, and that's so I think that's a very important aspect on that. So yeah. And it's getting tough to speak freely. Exactly. So you just really have to understand how times are changing and adapt a little bit, and try to, when the time comes, one person can't change anything. At least at the most, they can use you as a scapegoat to say, look at this guy right here. Bad. This is what happens to people like him, and then scare everybody else out of, yeah, there's a lot of things. Yes, Janie, 51, and learning. That's what's fun about, that's the fun part of life. That's how it should always be in learning experience. We are just all students of the universe. It's kind of how I see it. And we aren't the first civilization to walk this planet. There's so many lost civilizations, lost and forgotten and hidden beneath the crust of this earth, that have been either eroded away forever, or they're so well hidden through some kind of natural barrier, the forest, the jungle, or they're under the ice or in the ocean, or they've just been buried by who knows what. It's just very amazing. Yes, Jane, that's correct. A community. That's why this isn't just like I go on YouTube and make videos to entertain people. I go on YouTube, I make videos about things I usually don't try to steer too much towards talking too much about things that are going on in the world today, but it's very important to do that. And since Pooh, health, Pooh, scratching his ears. But so I like to discuss so people have an open mind. If I see something going on, like the fish dying in Germany, there's a massive fish dying problem. And the little Pooh Bear wants to say hello. Yeah. And so that's something I discuss if I have something on my mind, or something really made me very angry because of the politicians or the the events in the world that affect me directly. I would like to share that with everybody, so maybe someone else feels the same way, and then it's something. But usually, I try to share something. I try to put the best of both worlds into my channel. Do anything and all the things that I can that have to do with the Viking Age and crafts and learning things about the forest and nature and growing a garden. It's because that's what Vikings did. They were farmers. They grew gardens right outside their homes in the near vicinity. They kept animals, and I'm touching that concept as closely as I can, keeping it at the most of its efficiency. And it's very hard because I can't go all out Viking Age up here. I just don't have the financial resources to do that. If I had 50 sponsors that paid me to work full-time as a Viking up here to make YouTube videos to sell their sponsored products or whatever, I would do that because that would be awesome. I'd have millions of dollars someday to do what I love, and I'd be able to tour all over Europe to all the cool Viking sites and do all that stuff, and maybe even take part in one of my life goals is to be in one of the major roles in a big, really cool, successful Viking movie with lots of blood and gore. Yes, that's I'd like to do that someday. Yeah, inspiration can be found in many things, in a picture, in words, paintings, or watching somebody do work, just watching someone swing a hammer at the anvil and going, wow, that's pretty cool. And thank you, Luke and Mom. That's very, very kind. I really appreciate the feedback that people are actually enjoying what I'm doing here. We're a community of people. That's why this isn't just me on my channel. This is all of us together. Without you, I'm not doing this. That wouldn't work. It wouldn't be worth my time to just make videos because it's fun. I want to make videos that inspire people, like we just said here, that maybe get somebody out to go out and take a walk in the forest and look for something I just talked about, fatwood or chaga mushroom or pine tree that has, Yes, Janie, thank you very much. I try really hard to be all that you can be. That's a really tough job sometimes, but yeah, I guess it's full time. And it's all of us. I stay off the Facebook unless I go on there to go look on like the yard sales, or there's some friends that I keep track with that I like to see what they're doing once in a while. I go in there. I use it as a tool to share my YouTube a little bit, but I haven't found it very effective in that manner. Yes, we can only do our best. Skull. Ooh. Yes, I'm going to be staying the night up here with Pooh up here at the cabin tonight. I brought my entire sleeping attire, and I'm going to be hanging out up here. Yes, Thursday. That's kind of really cool. I miss it once in a while, and I forget the posts that I don't like posting. I'm going to be live tonight on Thursday, and then I don't go because I get home and I'm just dead tired. Or something else came up, and by the time I get home, it's 11, and I did this and that and the other, and life goes real busy around this camera. Let me tell you that. This is really cool for us to be actually doing a live stream today. I got off work and came straight up here. I did a lot of work outside. We had a nice rainy day today, which was really good. Filled up some of my water, and I filled up all of my water jugs. So now my water jugs are maxed out, and it looks like it might rain some more tonight, which I'm hoping for, so I can fill that water tank up. Yeah, Bob, yeah, that's correct. However, YouTube doesn't care. They don't care one bit. If you don't put out your 1 or 2 videos on time every week, tough. We're gonna start kicking out people from your channel and not suggesting your videos to other people. Yeah. So, yeah, you know how that goes. And that's kind of aggravating because speaking of that, probably by the end of midnight tonight, I'll be 1,000 hours away from possibly being able to get monetized on my channel finally, which would be great because that would help pay for a lot of the nuts and bolts that hold this place together. That would be awesome. So that's hoping to be able to do a whole bunch more live streams this next couple of weeks about a whole but topics that are interesting. Work just don't go back up. I really have to wait a couple of days to fire up the forge again because the temperatures in here were critically high for me to be lighting up a furnace inside of a wooden building. I was very, very careful with that. Oh, that's nice, Luke and Mom. That's nice to hear. Yeah, rain would be good because it wasn't as much as I had hoped for. Yes, Raventor, that's exactly what people we're communicating now. We're conversing, we're exchanging ideas and thoughts and opinions, and we don't have to have the same opinion at all. It's but we were able to debate about it without getting angry or loud at each other or yeah, so that's like-minded people. Probably the reason why we're here in the first place is because we have very similar thoughts and views and a very similar idea of what we'd like to do in our life, and that's why we're all here. Otherwise, there'd be a bunch of other people here in the chat, probably disrupting our harmony. Trying to think of the English word, disrupting our harmonia. Disrupting the harmony in the chat. Let's put it that way. Yes, it's a very like to figure out new ideas and yeah, it's always good to do that. Yeah, it was funny because that one short that I did that had almost 4,000 views was a stupid moment. Is 3 seconds, and I think that's gonna be the trick. It seemed to work very well actually. I'm gonna bleed out a bunch of little shorts of me doing something blacksmith work, Viking style, and it's just enough to light people's attention to like, whoa, what was that? And then they come and click on videos in the channel, and they get lost in the channel watching all my videos. So I was very harmonious. Thank you. That was the word I was looking for. Sotunar. Welcome. I didn't see you pop in the chat there, but I'm glad you could make it. Yes, drought here in Germany as well. If you had a time machine. Yeah, no stress, Moncoco64. We're almost there. So if everybody just joins the chats and watch the videos and maybe takes a dig back into the channel to watch some of the older videos that maybe aren't, I don't know. People say some of the old videos are awesome, but I really must say I've worked very hard on my editing skills, and I'm sure the old videos are kind of like not so entertaining, but topic-wise, I'm sure there's a whole bunch of the older videos that are really, really interesting. And you can actually, I go back often to watch my old videos to see where I've come from, to remind myself that this is my journey. I started there, and now I'm here, and I want to go there in this time frame. So I need to work really hard. So between this waypoint and that goal, I need to achieve these little extra step goals too, because there are other aspects of the whole big picture that need to happen as well. Yes, a year ago, there was no blacksmith shop. There was a tarp hanging across over there somewhere where the forge is now, which blew over about once every week, and I had to retie the stakes in the ground and new ropes. And yeah, and about 3 years ago, there was no bees. And about 4 years ago, this is going on in April next year. It'll be 4 years Viking camp, and probably 4 years YouTube too. Shortly before I got this place started my channel. So it was 2018 for a little bit. And then I said, you know what? I'm not really doing anything with my YouTube. It's let me start 2019. So I changed the name, and then it stuck, and it's become something special for me. And well, I got this field that was just a field that the wild boar had just destroyed. You could not drive the Jeep over the grass. It was like driving a moon rover. It was terrible. It was a lot of work. And had I would have known to do the things that I now, I would have probably planned it better. But everything has a time. I think everything has a time. So it was time for this now. And I think that's why now is the best time. Yeah, that's good. It's kind of like a online documentary of your progress, I guess you could say. My feet are falling asleep. Probably going to do another 10 minutes, and then we're going to call it quits, because it's already 11 o'clock here, and I'm getting tired. Did a lot of work today. I started weeding out all of my plants that the heat, due to the heat, kind of suffered a little bit or didn't make it. And so I started making some room for eventually down the road here pretty soon. After 1st of September, I am going to be able to go harvest a huge amount. I'm going to be able to harvest a huge amount of willow branches to do all kinds of projects. A huge amount. I'm talking like 100 trees worth of willows branches that have been growing since last year. And that's a lot. The bit that I had here to build the pizza bed and some of the other things, that little bit was just from 2 trees or 3 trees. 3, maybe 4 trees. I don't know. They didn't let us take all of them. I would have took all of them. I would have cut all the branches off. But so now this is like 100 trees worth of willow branches. I have to cut them myself, of course, but I'm just going to take a Sawzall and just mow them down. And maybe Vanessa can walk up and pack them while I cut. I don't know how we're going to do that yet, but we've planned it. And we're going to really go to town on that one. And of course, throw them in a water jug again so that we can propagate them, make them grow, and I'm going to make a living fence out of them. And so many nice things, which would also be historically correct around the Viking camp to give it another little touch, so that the studio up here, so that the Viking camp, it's my YouTube studio, this upper half mostly, has a really Viking Age appearance to it. It gives that feel that you're actually somewhere in a primitive setup. Dan Danevirke. Welcome. Is that Danevirke like in Hedeby? The Danewerk, in German we say, the big ring fortress. Is that what your name is means? Because that sounds familiar to me somehow. Yes, Janie. That reminds me of a channel. That reminds me of a channel that I used to watch a lot, because I do a lot of gold panning, and it's what's the guy's name? JeffWilliams.com. And he's like, yeah, who needs a gym when you can be a gold miner? He's in there all hammering away, and he's a funny guy. He's a funny channel. I like to watch his channel once in a while. He's goofy. Captain Fuzzy Outdoor Adventures, welcome. I didn't see you pop in earlier. I didn't know if this is you just came in now or if you've been here. Also, was I correct? That's pretty cool. Well, the internet is being slow right now. I don't know what's going on here. Oh, wow, that's pretty cool. A calendar. That's pretty awesome. That'd be neat to take a look at. Patriot Pioneer, welcome. Yes, you've caught a live stream. Now, especially my live stream tonight, I did a little bit later, so I was hoping some of you guys that can't make it to my usual to and from to work live streams or late afternoon live streams, that you guys could probably pop in here for at least a couple of minutes, because we've been on for about an hour now, and I'm happy to see a lot of people here that usually can't make it during the regular time. It's really good, and I was glad to see you guys. Okay, Janie, good night. See you soon. Stay safe, and we'll catch you next time. We got a lot of messages here. Yeah, so let's see. Make sure you all click the like button. If you're not already a subscriber, click the subscribe button, ring the bell. And if you're, yeah, I said it all, didn't I? Yeah, I just had to make sure. So, what's going on here? This program it's just, yeah, the internet source I'm using isn't the best at the moment here. Working on that. That's another project. If I get about $3,000, I'll put solar on the roof, and I'll have perfect electricity in the shop. And then I will move my Starlink satellite here, and I will buy a decent streaming setup, and I can stream 24/7 all day. We can have live streaming all day at the forge. That would be so cool. Or outside the Viking cabin, inside the Viking cabin, when I do some kind of reading or something. We have a little, in the wintertime, I can sit in there with a small fire, actually, is something I'm to work on. Once I get all my little projects all organized in here, I want to go and complete the actual roundhouse. It's never been completely completed yet. Okay, Bob, stay safe. I'll see you soon. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Take care. All right, so let's see. What's the computer telling me here? It says we have another 5 minutes of batteries left. Oh, that's great. Okay. Well, currently, Dana Vic, I'm working on getting my blacksmith shop finally set up the way I'd like it. I just installed my new anvil, 302 kilograms. There's a couple of shorts there in my in the video feed if you guys want to check out the anvil. It's not my dream anvil. My dream anvil is 500 kilograms, but it's like a 1 in a million to find one of those here. And if you do find one, you're forking out like 10 grand because the people are nuts who sell those things. Thank you, Luke. Yes, I think it's kind of like, I'm going to call the shop the Berserker Forge, which is kind of cool. But yeah, I'll play around with that idea when I get to the point. Hopefully around December, January, I'll be able to have a whole bunch of items to be on my Etsy store. So you guys can check that out. But that's going to be one of those projects that I really like to do. I'd really like to get there, but there's all these little projects, and then there's all the bumps in the road in between, and then there's life. It's smacking me around like a damn potato sack right now. So I know you guys want to see all that happen, but just bear with me. I'm going to work on that, and we'll get there soon. We were just talking about that, Dana. Isn't that a coincidence? Yeah, I was just talking about my store. Really like to work on it. I kind of have the blueprints laid out already, messed around with setting it up, but I haven't added any items. And what I want to do is I want to start out with my flint strikers and Oserberg lamps. I sold 3 Oserberg lamps last year, and I sold them within like 2 days, each for around $300 easy. And each one of them said, "Don't I have 2? Because they'd really like to have 2 or 3." I'm like, nah. I only have, each one of these is an individual piece of art. Is nothing like the other, which I think is very Viking Age. There was no mass assembly lines. When they made something, it was a unique piece of tool, a unique tool, or a unique piece of art, whatever. There was only that one. There may be someone who had great skills who could make many that look very similar, but for the most part, when I start with a flint striker, I say, okay, I'd like it to look like this, visualize it, and then I cut the metal, and then I get away to forging. And then in the end, it looks really nice. And if I'd have to make another one, it'd come out quite a little bit different. So it's one of those things that make flint strikers. I need to become very efficient and try to figure out how I can find a bunch of shortcuts, how to be able to make a bunch of them in a short time so that I can have still the high quality, the really cool look, and the functionality of them are still good, but also produce as many as I can in a short time so that I can bulk up on one item. I can make like 200 flint strikers and then not make any more for the time it takes to sell those 200. That way, that'll give me plenty of time to make a couple of other things, and also to set up the store to where there's a moth in here, to where I can sell each item. Each item will be listed individually as the item. I don't know if I'm going to do that yet, but I'm planning on, for each item, I'm actually going to make a new auction and a new inventory item, because each item is going to be different, and I'd like at least the buyer to see the item in actual identical photo of that same exact piece that they're actually going to buy, and not a mysterious photo of this is what it could look like, but it may be a little bit different. No, they're going to look at the exact same piece. It's like, if you want this piece, it's going to cost you this. And I want to make it to where I can sell just the flint striker. Then I can sell, for example, for a certain price, a piece of flint that goes with that. And for a certain price, I can put those 2 items in a little pouch. And then you can build your Tinder kit basically on the website right there, and then order like whatever it is you need, and I'll put that together, each piece individually, adding that to the packet, and then you get the package deal at the end. And that's what I'd like to do. So everybody can individually order any part of the kit separately. So if they want a piece of flint, they can order a piece of flint, or a piece of jasper, or just a flint striker. They can buy that. They don't have to buy an entire kit. Now, the entire kit, if I were to make an entire kit and put it on the internet, I'm going to say now, it's going to be more expensive than the average kit that you can buy off of Amazon, or off of Grimfrost or whatever, for the lame sake that my time, I don't do this full time, and when I do have time, it needs to be worth my time, and I take my time to do things so that they're nice in the end. And the resources, everything's getting more expensive. Most of the stuff that I use is recycled material, so I upcycle the metal. I go to the junkyards and I collect up all the proper steel for my projects. And a lot of my other project materials, I source them all on my own out in the forest. I go and hunt them, and I collect them, I process them, and then I store them for use in the future. And that's what's really so special The only thing I really can't make in this process is the leather, because it should be too much to properly produce. But yeah, so that's something I'm really excited for. That I don't know if let's see what I miss here. The grass is greener on the other side. Did I miss something there, Moncoco64? You guys are having a chat there. Handmade items carry a special energy. Yes, they do. That is absolutely true. When I got old tools, those old tools, they mean they have something with them. That's why I like restoring old hatchets and drawing knives. And I have a pile of old rusty tools in my basement that are still in one piece. They just need to be derusted and put back into use. Just that's this wintertime, I guess, project. But I pulled them out of the junk so they don't get scrapped. Danavar arm rings. Yes, I did have an attempt during the live stream about a month ago. There was one arm ring that was found that was made of iron, and it was from Gotland, Sweden, if I'm not mistaken. And I tried making it, and I was impatient, I must say. And I've never tried to make one before, and so I was I got about 60% done. It was looking good, and then I screwed up on two. I just destroyed it. It just broke, and it was like, I have to try again. But I kind of got the idea of what I need to do now. It was too small in the first place, so I need to do some measurements and experiment a little bit before I film. And then I know, okay, I got to cut the metal this long and do these steps to make it perfect. I'll make 2 or 3 of them, and then I'll film one of them just to get the feel for it. But arm rings, yes, arm rings and torque rings for necklace with little Thor's hammers on them. My buddy, he actually is he has a private Viking collection of somebody. And I'm not going to tell his name because he's asked me not to do that. Of things that were washed up on shore of a Viking person that was found on a beach. Basically, nothing was left to be able to identify maybe who that was. So it was a very historically unimportant find, I guess. But there were still fabrics and metal jewelry on this Viking as a lady, and she had a metal torque ring, like a necklace, but it's like a ring with a tiny little Thor's hammer on it. And that piece is so fascinating to look at that. It's just fascinating. I can't tell you how awesome it is to have been able to take a look at something like that. You don't get to see that in a museum. Adian, welcome. Hello. The computer is crying. The battery is acting up here. What we got here? It said 5 minutes earlier. Now it says 15%. I don't know what's up with that. Okay, now the internet is crying too. Okay, what we got here? Yeah, actually, I'd like to probably do that. Make some photos and sketches of and measurements, and then actually make one off of an authentic find. Those are then I can actually ask some real nice money for that. So that's and you'll have something very special, very cool Viking Age that's unique from all of the museums and all other things, because this is something off charts, offhand, that's not in a museum anywhere, and it's Viking Age. One Creed, welcome. We were just about to call it quits here in a couple of minutes, but it's good to see you. Good you stopped by. I did the stream a little bit later today, so I could probably catch some of the people who usually have a hard time in their schedule in the day when I do my on my way to work or on my way home, chats in the van blog kind of type live stream. So it's nice to see a lot of people here today that usually aren't on here every time, and that really made the day. Really happy to see everybody here. Okay, Raventor, good night. Little Pooh Bear is back there rolling up in his bed too. So it's probably going to be time for me. Armbands, yes. Good. Yes, I think it's going to be time to end the stream here as well. The battery's low, and I'm very tired. I did a lot of work outside. Yesterday, Vanessa actually drove the Bobcat. I had to teach her crash course, and she didn't crash. That was pretty good. Crash course Bobcat, skid steer, and these things are very dangerous. So I was very careful to give very instructions and be careful. But I couldn't drive the Bobcat in and get out and move the anvil off the Bobcat, off the shovel. So somebody else had to drive, and so I said, hop in here. And she jumped in there, and it worked very well. She was very good at that. It was a very successful mission. Although we did have to, the wood stump is actually for the anvil, 20 centimeters sunk into the ground. First, I had it only a little bit, and then I had it 10 centimeters. I had it all compacted down, put the anvil on it, and it was like up to here. It was like, this is too high. So I had to take it all apart again. Pull the anvil back, pull the Bobcat back in, put the anvil back on the shovel, and dig up the wood stump again, take it out, dig the hole down, put the wood stump back in, level everything out, then take the measuring tape and measure the height of the anvil, and then kind of estimate to see if the new height is correct. It was a very big task, and we got done. We took a break, we went and got some food, and I really would love to finish it. So we came back in the middle of the dark, and we finished it in the nighttime. Luckily, we had the floodlight there to help us out. I was so happy to have that yesterday. And now my anvil, I nailed it down with my chain. Very happy. Okay. All right, everybody. I am going to call it a day as well. Pooh Bear is already rolled up in his bed over there. So I think it's time for me to end the stream. Make sure you click the like button. And if you have not already checked out the previous videos where I go and find Leba Ha'aya and some fossils. That was my last adventure with Vanessa there we just did last week. It was really cool. We had a lot of fun. Took Pooh Bear along with us, and check that video out as well. That's something. Since we're only 1,000 hours away from getting that 4,000 hours watch time, a big goal for me, big milestone. I'm very excited, and I'm happy that you guys are here for the ride to be part of this awesome community. Now, with that being, the end of the conversation for tonight, fire is bad for beards. Yeah, that's only if you're not careful. So, all right. Here we go, up here. All right, everybody. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in. And like always, stay safe and see you soon.